This training video will teach you how to do an event configuration. From the main SpeedNet Direct Race Management software screen, click the second icon on the left, which is Configuration. That will bring you to the Configuration module. You'll notice that the date defaults to today's date. If you want to set that for a race date in the future, you can do that at this time. The next thing that you'll need to do is to select the class. We're going to select late models. Now, because there's no configuration built already, we're going to create a new configuration by pressing the New Configuration button. That will bring up the Event Configuration Setup wizard. Click Next, and the very first screen that you'll be shown will give you an opportunity to put the event name in. This is optional, but you can put that event name in if you want a weekly race, or if you have a special race, you can put that event name in here. Now, all of your available run types will be listed here on the left side of the page. You want to either double click or drag and drop them to the right hand side in the order that you're going to have those events. We're going to do a very simple configuration with just heats and a feature. So what I'm going to do is to drag heat race over here, and then to show you can do it a different way, we'll double click feature. Alright, and that's because we're going to have our heat races first and our feature race last. Click the next button to go to the next screen. This next screen shows us the class and the run type, which is heat, and asks us how many races that we want to have. So let's say we're going to select 2 races. We're going to have 2 heat races. The cars per row is set at 2 cars per row, and the point payout is set as standard. Now, this is the important part of this first screen. The start position determined by. You'll notice that that drop-down menu has several choices: pill number, year-to-date points, a previous feature result, the average of previous features, racetrack, which is no lineup calculation, or on a previous race. Those are the options, the standard options with SpeedNet for starting this very first race. So you can select what option that you want to use here. If we've created a custom lineup for you, that custom lineup will be available in here as well. So if you have a custom lineup for your heat or your feature, you could select that at this time. But we're going to go ahead and select year-to-date points. Alright, and that's going to be how the lineups are going to be determined for our heat race. Down here in this box, you could select a sponsor if you'd like, and that could be the sponsor for the class, and you could check that checkbox to use that sponsor for all the runs for that class. Now, this is probably the most important thing to understand about the event configuration wizard. Now we're on the heat race, and the bottom transfer section asks us which positions will be transferring directly to the feature race. So let's say, for example, we want to have the top 2 finishers from each heat race go directly to the feature. In that instance, I was put from position 1 to position 2 will move directly to the feature. Now what that's going to give us is 4 cars in the feature, because we have 2 heat races, and we're going to take the top 2 from each heat race. If you wanted to put more people in directly transferred to the feature, you could just up this second number. Putting a value in here such as 99 would mean that basically everybody that was in the heat race would then transfer directly to the feature. Once that's set, click the next button, and that will bring us to the run type feature. Alright, the starting position is going to be determined by the previous race. In other words, however they finish the heat races is going to determine where they start in the feature. The selection of the number of races over here, I'm going to leave that at 1. And again, I'm going to leave the cars per row for the lineup at 2 per row, and the points as standard. Then all we have to do is click the finish button, and it will build our event configuration. Once it builds the event configuration, it will give you a graphical representation of what you've just done. In other words, we have a heat race, and the top 2 cars from each heat race, you notice that there's 2 heat races here, are going to be going directly to the feature. And it says number entered here. If we had entrance in that event for the night, for this particular day, it would actually show us how many people are entered in the heat races, and then how many would automatically be transferred into the feature race. Now, once you've created an event configuration, you can save that as a default configuration and use it every week. To do that, you would select Options from the top menu item and then Save as Class Default. Alright, now we've saved this as the late model class default. In future weeks, we can just click Default Configuration and automatically bring back that class default. You could also go back and click the previous configuration button. If you've had a configuration on a different day, okay, and you want to repeat that configuration, this will show you the event names and event dates of all of the previous configurations that you've had, and you could select that one and load it. For example, we could select this one to start with a pill number, click load, and then it will replace the event configuration that we had with the one that we had done that week. And that's how to build an event configuration.